What is actually good? Today I'm going to be talking a little bit about how a beginner can start in their, I guess, mixed martial arts as far as just like working out goes. And so for me, whenever I started doing MMA, it was just solely to do something different. You know, it's always nice to change things up whenever you are in a workout setting. Sometimes it can get redundant doing weights over and over again or going for that same jog. For me, I was doing mixed martial arts to kind of switch it up. But what got me to stay was the amount of creativity that goes into mixed martial arts, because it really could change on a daily basis. You're always learning new things. You're constantly being challenged, and you always try to challenge yourself to rise to the occasion. Now, the discipline I'm going to talk about today is no-gi Jiu-Jitsu. And so Jiu-Jitsu is an art where you subdue your opponent in like the most, what is it, gracious way? Or basically you do it, it's the most non-violent form of combat because when you choke them out, there's no strikes to the head, right? I don't know. But anyways, it's a lot of submissions that go inside Jiu-Jitsu. Now there's gi and no gi. Gi is like that robe looking thing that people wear whenever they go into the classroom. And the value of gi is that it really is self-defense. So if you're looking into mixed martial arts for self-defense, then I would suggest for you to get involved with the gi Jiu-Jitsu because everybody's wearing clothes, right? So that teaches you different grips you can do on people, things that you can do to manipulate the situation, and it applies to everyday life because everybody wears clothes. Now for me, I'm more interested in no-gi only because I would be interested in potentially participating in mixed martial arts. And so since you can't grab clothes, or you know, people are even like only wearing shorts, but you can't grab those shorts or anything, since that's the rule in mixed martial arts, for me, I would want to focus my energy more on no-gi Jiu-Jitsu as opposed to gi Jiu-Jitsu. But both has their benefits and stuff. And the reason why I say that I prefer no-gi as opposed to gi, of course you can learn a lot, but for me there's like only a certain amount of space in my mind, a certain amount of skill points that I have that I can allocate to the different disciplines. And since no-gi will apply into mixed martial arts better and more clearly, that's why I put my eggs into the no-gi basket. I'm not saying you can't do gi. There's a lot of mixed martial artists that do gi, but for me it just makes sense to focus on no-gi since it applies, and the things that I might learn with no-gi doesn't necessarily apply. With gi. But anyways, so when I first got into no-gi, it was actually in San Diego, but I did it for a very brief time period. I actually got into boxing a little bit more frequently, but then when I moved to State College, Pennsylvania, I noticed this class called Submission Wrestling, and it definitely was the class for me. I loved it. You know, whenever you find like a really good instructor, that's also something that like really motivates you to come back, because when you find an instructor that is just so knowledgeable about their specific art and the things that they're teaching you, it just makes you want to come back to class and work and improve and improve. Well, the thing that worked for me, it worked to my advantage, is I remember I started in February, and it just so happened that February was the month of the arm bar. Now, I also loved Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey was very huge at the time. I was in State College around 2014, and I think she was on the season of Tough at the time too, and there was like a video of her demonstrating an armbar from a unique position, and I learned that through just watching that YouTube video and applied it whenever we got to practice our armbars, plus the instructor teaching the technique of the armbar over and over again. So I focused on one submission, perfecting that one submission, really making it a deadly asset in my tool set to apply into the classroom. And it worked out for me, so that like whenever we roll, I do have something that I can lean on, as opposed to having a general knowledge of submissions and not really being a master of any. So for any beginners out there, I definitely recommend for you to find a submission and work on one submission over and over again so you feel comfortable that that's your go-to submission. And then once you have that one submission, then allowing yourself to branch out and learn different submissions as well, and to just increase your skill set. But really, I think that if you focus on one, you'd be in good shape. So that's a little bit of advice for starting out into MMA.